Does anybody else hate this Goodreads update? Because I despise this Goodreads update. Like, let's go back to the beginning. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I decided to go over my March reading recap. How many books I read in March, what books I liked, what books I didn't like, what books I really enjoyed. The first book I read in March was A Game of Love by Alicia Williams. This is a spin-off series of a book I read maybe 2 years prior of this reverse harem poly hockey romance, but some of them are cheerleaders, some of them are football players. Actually, I don't think they're hockey players at all. No, that's a spin-off series. They're hockey players. In the other series, the main character has a daughter, and the main character falls in love with this guy who has a son. So this series is about the daughter and the son, so they're step-siblings. Yeah. There's 2 in the series, so this was a duet. I gave it 4.5 stars. Honestly, I preferred the first one, because once they actually got together in the second book, I was super bored. Super bored. But I still enjoyed the series and enjoyed seeing other characters from the book I read past. Okay, this month I also found a new author to love, and her name is Ashley Poston. I read the 7-Year Slip by her, and I found a new trope I love, and that is time travel trope. There's this magic door, and the main character living there is currently living in the present, but the guy who comes in is living in the past. She only knows it's in the present, but he doesn't. So really, she's interacting with somebody 10 years prior, and he doesn't know, but she knows, and she can't change it. But I gave that 5 stars. It was one of my first 5-star reads of the year, and one of my new favorite authors. And of course, I had to check out her other book, A Novel Love Story, which I also gave 5 stars. This is probably my favorite by her. This girl is in love with this book series, okay? One day, she's driving to a cabin to meet her book club friends when she hits somebody with a car. And then slowly but surely, she realizes she is in the set of her favorite book. All these characters are from her favorite book series, but the guy isn't who she met. So now she has to figure out, who the hell are you? Because you are not in the stories I was reading. Love the extravagant, campy part of the book, so I gave it 5 stars. Alright, this next book got me back into dark romance. I haven't read dark romance in a while, but this book definitely helped it. It was Kiss the Villain by Rena Kent. I gave this book 5 stars. This is also a spin-off of the Legacy of God series. It's Gareth's book, who is Killian's brother and Asher and Rena's son. Throughout the book series, we were told that Gareth was a very normal, sane person. But in this book, let me tell you, he is fucking insane. He is insane. Rena Kent also loves to test her boundaries. So if you're not into certain things that happen, this is probably not the book for you. But it's about Gareth coming to terms with his sexuality and being in love with his professor. I loved reading about an unhinged male character who will literally do anything for the love interest. Caden, who was Gareth's love interest, literally told him, "Stop being so obsessed with me, or I will forbid you from seeing me for a week." That's crazy stuff. And I ate it up, and I eat it up every time. This got me back into my Rena Kent era and starting to reread passages from the Cruel King series, the Legacy of God series. So I looked up other series similar to that. So I found a book called Royal Crown Academy by Kai Hara. Honestly, the same as the Cruel King series. It's kind of almost duplicate, but the first series is a new girl in town in London, and she gets in trouble with this bad boy, and they have this beef, and obviously revenge, oh, let's have sex, revenge, let's have sex. It was also very much a bully romance, but also at the end, it just went crazy. There was really no mafia elements at first, but at the end there was oh no, we're doing mafia. So I gave it 4.5 stars. There's 4 books in the series, and I stopped at the second one. I thought I would like the third one, is with a girl and a guy from her childhood who are now enemies, so I always eat that stuff up. It reminded me of Kim and Xander from their book, but I could not get into it. but I did read the second one. This one was called Pray for Your Lies. I gave this 4 stars. I liked it because it was like sports romance. She's a soccer player and he's a soccer player and he's obsessed with her. But then once again, it just like exceeds what is realistic because he does weird things that are like, okay, this wasn't happening in the first paragraph of the book, but I like them, but they weren't good enough to let me go into the next book of the series. Not my favorite. This is the Holy Grail of Hunger Games books. I gave this 4 stars. You want to know why I gave this 4 stars and not 5 stars? Because I couldn't give it 5 stars. Because I was so depressed after this book, and I spent my entire time writing this book crying. So for my mental health, I couldn't give it 5 stars. Are you kidding? I could only give it 4. But I think this is my favorite Hunger Games book ever. We see characters from the past, Beetee, Wiress, Mags, Effie, and we see how they're also slaves to the Capitol and how their story progresses. Also, there's a huge found family trope in this. I love found family, but it's so sad because you know their end. And I think the side characters were so well written. And honestly, Snow is psychotic. The things he did to Haymitch is crazy. Like, I don't think there was a dry eye when I finished this book. And honestly, I love the characters that, like, did die. Sometimes I was, like, rooting for other people other than Haymitch. Sorry. And I don't want to spoil too much, but I will say Wyatt, Haymitch, Macely, Luella, Lulu, Ampert, Welly. God, I love those characters so much. They are such good characters, and I love how they're written. Suzanne did her big one, and I honestly think this is her last one, and she's never going to write another Hunger Games book again, and I'm okay with this because this is the end of it. Anyways, that was my March reading wrap up. Please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow me on Instagram, TikTok. Comment what your favorite book of March was because I need some good books for April. I'm not doing so well in my reading goals, so if you could help me, that'd be great. Okay, bye-bye.